Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Have At It, Episode 8. My name is Ben Cornett. How is everybody doing tonight here? We got a lot to talk about right now, as you know. As far as Bucks fans go, the big news this week was obviously some guy sitting on a beach, catching some waves, relaxing. Well, that guy happened to be Tom Brady, and um, so Wednesday morning, February 1st, 2023. I'm sleeping, still asleep. It's like 5 a.m., a little after 5 a.m. in the morning. And I get this alert on my phone. I get the ESPN app where it gives you the alerts. And breaking news: Tom Brady has announced his retirement from the NFL. Now, does that sound familiar? Absolutely. He did that last year as well. And we all thought, well, you know, what a career. He deserves it. 22 years in the league, 7 Super Bowls. I mean, the guy's the GOAT. Well, 45 days later, back in last year in 2022 in March, he says he's coming back. He's out of retirement. So here we go. Fast forward to now, and he has retired again after 23 years in the league. Again, 7 Super Bowls, 6 with the Patriots, 1 with the Bucks. Amazing career. Now, will he stick with it this time? Yeah, I believe he will. I mean, I don't know what else he has to prove. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to catch his records. In fact, 89,000, what is it? 89,214 career passing yards. Nobody's coming close to that. 649 passing touchdowns. I don't think anybody's going to catch that. Maybe that one. Maybe a Mahomes, somebody like that. But 649 touchdowns. It's impressive. 15 Pro Bowls. It's amazing. It's amazing. When I said passing yards, I said 89,214 yards. Now, if he had come back this year, he could have had 100,000 yards passing. And with the 733 passing attempts this year in 2022, he definitely would have. But he's retired. I had mentioned, I went on Wednesday morning, gave a little brief about it. I thanked Tom Brady, and I'll do it again. Thank you, Tom, for the 3 years here in Tampa. As a fan, Bucks fan, I mean, it was a fun. I wouldn't say all 3 years. I mean, this past season was not the greatest, although we won our division, albeit a not so good division, but nonetheless, we're still the NFC South champions 2 years in a row. We still made the playoffs, and I don't make the rules. I don't set up the playoff rules or anything like that. You win your division, you get in, you have a home game for at least one round. Didn't end well. Dallas beat us. Uh, it is what it is. So Brady didn't have the best year, although, numbers wise, pretty good. 4,703 yards, 25 touchdowns. You would think, man, that's like a Pro Bowl type season almost. But there's a lot more to that. And sometimes I always say numbers, can be deceiving sometimes. You got to look at the whole spectrum of things. As far as as far as the Bucks go, you know, we're going to ask ourselves, where do we go from here? And we'll get to that. But, you know, to describe Tom Brady in his last year, I'm sure he didn't want it to end like this. I mean, you know, not being able to try and compete for another Super Bowl, even though they made the playoffs. But realistically, the team wasn't going to go very far. You know, there's just too many good teams. You know, I know I picked them to beat Dallas, but that was more because I felt Dallas would be Dallas and they would, you know, once again implode in the playoffs. They did eventually, but they didn't do it against the Bucks because we're not as good as the Cowboys. Okay, that's just the reality of it. We weren't as good as Dallas this year. Dallas hammered us and showed us that we just weren't a Super Bowl contending team. Now, a lot of that was injuries, but also a lot of it was Brady. And, you know, you got to put some fault on him because, you know, he had a lot going on off the field. You know, and we're not going to get into that. He got divorced and everything. Okay. But it does affect what you do on the field. I'm sure it did. And, you know, it was just a domino effect. Ali Marpet retires. Jensen gets hurt in training camp. You know, Brady took 10 days away from training camp to spend time with his family. You know, the coaching changes, you know, everything was just, it just didn't feel like this team could win a Super Bowl this year. Really, after week 2, you know, they went 2-0, but they finished 6-10. 6-10. That's, I mean, that's not a very good record for a team that's supposed to be very talented, really in every part of the, on both offense and defense. But there's also injuries, but also didn't have quite the depth that we needed in key positions with the offensive line and the defensive line. Shaq Barrett got injured. He was out. He's out for the year. Tore his ACL. Doesn't help. You know, the offense couldn't get in the red zone. And that didn't help either. And another thing that bothered me was the connection or the lack thereof with Tom Brady and Mike Evans. It worked very well for the other 2 years, but for some reason this year it just didn't connect. But anyway, with as far as Brady goes, that is kind of on him. You know, the focus wasn't 100% there. And I think now is the right time to go. You know, he's done enough. He did enough for the Buccaneers for 3 years. He turned the culture around. He helped, you know, bring this team from obscurity to the top of the mountain, to us being on national TV almost every week. You know, you got to thank Jason Light, Bruce Arians, Mike Greenberg for those guys bringing in Brady. You know, Brady could have went to other teams. He could have went to the 49ers, some other teams, but he chose our team. He felt like there was so much talent on this team. The receivers, Evans, Godwin, a great 1-2 punch. You know, they were able to get Leonard Fournette, great running back, a very good offensive line. Marpet, Donovan Smith, Ryan Jensen, Tristan Wirfs. And 2020, in 2021, we had Alex Kappa. So, you know, it's like, how could you not want to go to a team like this that's got some players that, you know, haven't experienced what Tom Brady has experienced, winning and having a winning culture. That's what Trump, no, excuse me, that's what Tom brought to this program, or I'm sorry, to this franchise. And no matter, you know, what we say, what if, you know, we can blame him for this, which I certainly do for some of the problems this year. But at the end of the day, he's still the GOAT. And he's still, maybe he didn't go out on top, but he still leaves a legacy, whether it was in New England and Tampa, left it, hopefully better than he, went into it. That's what we hope here in Tampa. We hope it does get better, and I'm sure it will. But that leads me to my next question: is, you know, where do we go from here? Where do the Bucks go? You know, it's going to be a very unique situation. You're not just replacing a quarterback. You're replacing a leader. You're replacing an incredible presence that captivated this team, changed the culture of the locker room, made everybody better around him. So, who's that quarterback going to be? Now, and who's going to follow that? I mean, whoever's going to be throwing the football for the Bucks in 2023 he's got to follow that. A lot of pressure, lots of pressure. Before we go any further than that, I'm going to take a little break here. And then as soon as we get back, we'll talk more about where the Bucks are going to go from here. And we are going to get your comments and your thoughts on what we're going to do next. So hang tight, and I will see you in a minute. Alrighty, and we're back now here on Have At It episode 8. Let's get a few of these comments in here real quick. Here, Scott Thaler is first, like he always is. Scott, Tom Brady was on the red carpet at the premiere of 80 for Brady. Yeah, why not? It's a movie about him. Why wouldn't he be? $375 million TV deal will keep him retired. Yeah. Yep, he's going to Fox next year, I would assume, because he'll start right away. Hold on one second. Sorry there. Clear my throat. Sean Spencer, thanks for tuning in, man. What is up, man? Good to have you on. You making the rounds too? Yep. Sure am. I'm entertaining you, Mr. Thaler. And Alex Schomber, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. How's it going? It's going okay. Going okay. Sent you the link if you want to join. Come on in. Talk about it. If not, that's okay. But I'm glad you're in here tonight, Alex. Appreciate it. So anyway, back to what I was saying before. What are we going to do now? What are the Bucks going to do at the quarterback position? Well, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. They can do anything, but they also have to be realistic. Right now they're currently, I believe, over 50 million over the cap. Yeah. And that's from restructuring contracts. That's from the old saying, kicking the can down the road. But it was worth it. Hey, we got a Super Bowl out of it. We competed for one in 2021. 2022, not so much, but Sometimes that's the price you pay. You know, eventually you got to pay the debts. And the Bucks, will they do that? Will they be like, okay, you know, will they maybe rebuild, or will they try and get a free agent quarterback, or will they go with Kyle Trask? But to help me answer that question, let me bring in this man right here. He is a co-host of mine on NFL Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alex Schomburg. Mr. Schomburg, how you doing, man?
Not much, just getting this PS5 set up.
Oh, okay. You got a new PS5, huh?
Much needed.
Nice, nice.
Trying to get the internet fixed.
Well, you're on, so I guess the internet is working so far.
Oh, it's just the gaming speed is what I'm trying to get fixed.
Well, Alex, if you've so far you've listened to what we should do. You are on the Kyle Trask train. That's certainly understandable. I wouldn't be against that.
I mean, it's
The
not more so. It's only because of cap space wise. It's like more so. It's like you gotta play with what you have at this point. Like why, like put yourself in a. I mean, unless they can work the cap space, then by all means go a different quarterback. But me personally, I feel like they should just stay in house. And yes, if that means we have a 4-win season, 5-win season, then so be it. We've been in this situation before. We've seen worse seasons. It wouldn't if it takes us having losing seasons for like next like 2 years, 3. It's whatever at this point. I mean, I'm all for it, but then again, I'm just a watcher, not a finance specialist in that department.
Now you said you're all for that. Whatever they do. What do you
Yeah.
think we'll do?
I mean, I feel like I can't really say what I think they will do until how they fix the cap space wise. And if they fix it and they decrease it by a huge margin where they can get a quarterback, I feel like they'll go after one because they're most of those players are one they want to win now. Some of them are not going to settle for the whole rebuild, except for like a few players. But I feel like they'll probably go for another quarterback for some odd reason instead of staying in house. But
Well, yeah, I think realistically, that's what I see too. I think they're definitely going to go after another quarterback because they're saying that it's not a rebuild and they want to compete. I get that. But when we look at the options right now, being over 50 million over that cap, if you're going to go after a guy like Aaron Rodgers, check this out. He has over 50 million guaranteed in 2023. Okay. Same thing. Derek Carr has over 32. He's got 33 million guaranteed if the Raiders don't trade him by February 15th. That's a lot of money now. Now you got to understand, they got to restructure. I mean, if you're going to go after these guys, you're pretty much going to have to restructure every new contract you just made, but also you're probably going to have to get rid of guys like a Donovan Smith. You have to get rid of a guy like Leonard Fournette. Those are big hits. And I know we've bagged on Donovan Smith for his play, but you don't just find left tackles off the streets. So it's a tough thing for Jason Light. He's done it before. Give him credit
yeah,
for that. But you know, he's got a lot of decisions to make. And you look at the other guys that are available. There's going to be like a Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a free agent. Baker Mayfield's a free agent. Realistically, we probably see those guys be more. The possibility of them being quarterback are greater than the possibility of Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. I mean, would
well,
you be comfortable with a Garoppolo or a Baker Mayfield?
I'm
When
just
it
looking
comes,
at my closet and seeing like most all the Bucks jerseys I have. They're probably not even gonna be the team next year. That's it's like it's whatever. I was gonna buy a Tom Brady jersey, but oh no, he retired. Oh no, I was never gonna buy one. I
well,
was
you
never
should
gonna
have.
buy one. No, Me personally, I don't know. Like I see, with me and Brady, it's like a love hate. Respect him on the team, but me personally, I will never buy his jersey. Never. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I respect his game, appreciate his Super Bowls, but it's one thing I'll never own is one of his jerseys. I will. Mm-mm. Signatures, yes, but jerseys. I just get players like the way I feel it is. I get players that we actually got in the draft. I don't get players that we get in free agency. I just don't do that. I can't. It's just in my will not to get free agent signing because they're not. You know how long they're really going to be there. At least you know if you drafted them, they're actually on a team for some time, at least 4 years. Not no 1 year deal and then done, 2 year deal and then done. Like Fournette, never buy his jersey. Mm-mm. Never.
Fair enough.
Not to
Fair
hate the
enough.
person, but it's just because you and me both know, like, when it comes to, like, I mean, sorry, I would change the topic, but you and me both know how it is with the Lakers. We can't buy a single freaking jersey to save our life without them being on the team next year.
Oh man, you mean you don't want that Kyrie Irving jersey? I'm gonna mail you to.
Bro, I don't think we're gonna get him. Like, it's just like I've been seeing the reports all day and like the
Mhm.
trade options. I don't see it. Like as much as if they can make it happen, like, but I don't see it. Like you got to offer. I think they're requesting for Westbrook and 2 first rounders. One of them is top 5 protected. I just don't see it.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but as
I'm
far
sorry.
as no, it's fine. No, it's fine. That's good. I like that. We're going to talk a little basketball here too. But would you be okay with the Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo if worse comes to worse? I mean,
I mean, I'm not sure if you follow. Do you follow JC Allen on Twitter?
yeah, mhm.
He had a point on Twitter, but I guess I mean I'll be fine with Garoppolo or Baker because that is a better cap space wise for because I think Baker would be like what 1 million I think
Something like that.
around
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
He was saying that there's a possibility that he's like imagine if I think it was about Derek Carr. Imagine just cut ties with him. I can see him being a buck at the end of the month. I don't see that happening. He's not going to be one of those. I mean, it's a lot of cap to like. I mean, we've been in like negative cap before, but it's a tough decision. Like, who would you keep? Who would you let go? Like, the obvious reason we get like what their mind is drop Donovan Smith, but
Well, you see,
I was kind of I was kind of
here's
think
the
of it like
thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to get a Derek Carr or an Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to let go of some pieces. Those are
yeah,
pieces we could use. We could use a Leonard Fournette. We could use a Donovan Smith, even though, again, we can't. He's not the best left tackle in the world, but he's got the experience. You know,
yeah,
and that's the hard part about all this, man. We
you
got
got
to
to cut
go out.
ties sooner or later.
Yeah. Now the
Irving
Brady
stays forever.
the injuries, yeah. But with the Brady retiring, and he's gonna spread out the money a little bit, so that's kind of good in a way, at least for this year. But I mean, this Bucks team wants to win. They still want to win now, and realistically, I don't see Kyle Trask starting. I don't. I just don't. They're gonna
I
go
mean,
after.
it's like I want to say I don't see him starting, but it's just like it's an elephant in the room kind of thing. Like there's that Donovan Smith contract that you're either gonna have to extend it out through a certain amount of years,
Yeah.
which I'm sure most Bucks fans are like, I just want to let him have his last season. But
Mhm.
no, motherfucker, you're gonna if we were trash this year, you're gonna suffer the next 3 years, and you're gonna lower that contract down. You're gonna have Bruce Arians in there with the backhand, so you're gonna sign that shit. But it's just like that's the big elephant in the room. If you can restructure that contract alone, there's him and I think Fournette, but I think Fournette was already restructured.
Well, I think Barrett too. Didn't he just sign one like 2021? Yeah.
I think yeah, I think he was the 5 year deal. I think it was.
Yeah.
It's like
It was
it's like
guaranteed money,
I
I think,
would.
finished after 3 years.
It's like Jason Light, I hope they can, like, if they can convince them to like extend their contracts out a little bit more to like get rid of cap space. I feel like they'll go after a quarterback. But if you don't see that much progress being moved, and only a few contracts being settled, as long as they don't restructure Mike Evans, for the love of God, that man takes a pay cut every year. Takes him
Yeah.
from Donovan Smith. Quit being selfish, bitch. He does that every fucking year. Every fucking year.
Right. Well, that's
Like
what
the
because Mike
dude
wanted
deserves.
to. That's the difference. He wanted to, whereas
Yeah,
the
well, motherfucker, stop wanting to. Be like, get his fucking money. Get his money.
that's
At that
that's
point,
up
I
to
would
the
be like,
players. Yeah.
I get that, but it's like soon, like enough has to be enough sooner or later. Like someone else has to fucking take the fucking heat for this shit. Someone else has to like spread their money out because all the things that Mike Evans did in the last 5 years compared to what the fuck Donovan Smith did. Mike Evans should be like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. You take the pay cut this time because it's like he's done so much. And what does Donovan Smith do besides get holding calls off touchdowns? Actually, you know what? Mike Evans would be like, you know what? You cost me that fucking touchdown, motherfucker. Yeah, you take this shit because it would have been a touchdown, but he's like this the whole entire fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's an
But it's
interesting comment from Scott. He would. He would loosen some cap space. I mean,
he wasn't that bad last year for the Rams. In a matter of
no.
time that he was, because I think he had like what 4 days of the playbook,
Yeah.
and then I mean, granted, it wasn't pretty at first, but it's not gonna be pretty at first for your first game in. You're not gonna just know this offense. It takes time in the game, and the fact that he learned it towards the end,
Mhm.
it's not bad, not bad at all.
No, I agree. I mean, it's like he fished to water. He took it easy. But I mean, he's not my favorite quarterback, and I don't think he's ever going to be an elite quarterback. But I think for 1 year, if they're going to try to compete, the Bucks again, this would be the cheaper option. They could still
Yeah,
keep the majority of their players and not have to restructure. They're going to have to restructure some contracts anyway because they're still over that cap, but it won't be as bad, if they go with Baker over, like, say, a Derek Carr or even an Aaron Rodgers. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Our division, let's be realistic, it's not very good. I mean, we could still
I
win
mean,
maybe with Trask.
the one team I would really honestly fear this may this may surprise some people, but it's more so Panthers and the Falcons. I mean, Saints, I mean, it's kind of iffy on them and how that's going to work out.
Mhm.
But I feel like with that Frank, because everybody, like, I mean, Frank Wright wasn't really like good in Indy. I mean, he's has ups and downs.
Yeah.
But if they go after Anthony Richardson, which I kind of doubted it at first, but the sad part is I
Mhm.
can actually see it happening. Not saying the first year, not saying the first year they're going to go like undefeated or something like that. But I feel like those
Mhm.
two teams are the ones that are going to be the most slept on because look what they did with PJ Walker and
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. I mean, the team just needs a quarterback. Like
Um,
their offense is good, their defense is great. Same with Atlanta. Desmond Ritter started picking up steam towards the end of the season. Hopefully they start him next year. Probably a long shot, but that team's going in the right direction. That's the only two teams that I feel like it's like a threat to us. Not really like top dogs, but it's gonna be like this season where it's like the fight towards the end kind of thing.
well, the threat I see easily is Carolina. First of all, they just hired Frank Reich. That's a good coach. Their defense is getting better and better. A good offensive line. They could use another weapon, wide receiver wise. Maybe get a tight end. They got a good running back core. Shepard Hubbard, Chuba Hubbard, I
Deontay
should say.
Foreman.
Yeah, yep. And they just need that. They just need that guy to throw the ball to. You know, um, who knows? Maybe Carolina. I could realistically see Carolina get Derek Carr more than I do the Bucks. If Carolina gets Derek Carr, I mean, I think they
Trying
win
to
that
think.
division. unless we get like an Aaron Rodgers, but I don't see that.
I can't
happening.
really. I'm trying to think of teams that are actually. Only teams I've seen that's trying to get quarterbacks is the Jets because they're trying to go for what's his name, Aaron Rodgers, because the whole like they're the only team that's actually, if you have actually noticed, they're actually a team that's actually would actually go all out for Aaron Rodgers in a trade. They already openly admitted it. They'll actually go all out for him.
Hmm.
That's the only team besides I think Panthers maybe. I don't know about the Saints because that I don't know. Like if I was a fan of that team, I know it's like we usually hate them as a division rival, but that team is fucked. Like
Yeah.
they have you keep Andy Dalton in the game. Dude is mid at best. When you have Winston, which I know most Bucks fans, oh yeah, he's terrible, blah blah blah. He's improved. He has his moments still, but he's looks way better than he was with us. And
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
like
but see, the thing is, they're not going to bring Jameis back. Let's be real. They're not
I
going to
mean,
bring him
it's one of
back.
those things where you never know what they because I don't know their cap spaces because I'm not really in depth with
Right.
them.
But I'm just saying, I don't think the Glazers would
No, no,
bring him back.
I'm not saying us bring him back. I'm saying the Saints could probably be going for a quarterback, but you never know. Like that team is just I don't know. They're stupid as fuck, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you keep Andy Dalton in the game, but when Winston was there playing,
Mhm.
Olave was basically balling out, balling out with them, and then you have Andy Dalton, and then you see nothing. Like I don't know that team is just. It's like that. In the division, it's like that one team. You're just like. I mean, I know we can't really brag as much because we've had some shitty games this year,
Mhm.
but there's like that one team. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you have slant Master P over there that can't
Mhm.
get right. You got a defense. Like I feel like Cam Jordan, as much as he's a shit talker, he's annoying. He deserves better to be on a different team.
Yeah.
He should be on a different team. I'm surprised he didn't go off somewhere else.
No, definitely. So like I said, we're talking about the NFC South division, everyone. It's probably again, it's probably going to be like this past year. It's not going to be. You got teams that are probably not Super Bowl contenders, but it could be anybody's division depending on what team does the most and how they draft well. Atlanta's interesting. Like you said, Desmond Ritter started to pick things up a little bit toward the end of the year. Um, their defense is okay. Kyle Pitts, he's got to come off an injury. We got to see how he does. Cordell Patterson was probably their best offensive weapon they had, but the offensive line's not very good for Atlanta, so that's a question mark there. And then the Saints with their salary cap nightmare, we just don't know. Like who they can bring in if they can even compete. And don't forget, Alvin Kamara hasn't even served his suspension yet. So that's going to be coming up.
That's still ongoing.
Yeah, he never actually served it. So, they haven't even seen the case yet. So, you know, Michael Thomas is going to be gone. Um,
I
so
don't even
there's a
see him in
lot
the
of,
league. It's like he doesn't have that much like I don't know. Like, my defensive wise, he runs the same routes. Like I don't know. Like that team is just. I'm trying to think of like who would actually like Derek Carr wise.
mhm,
I know he ain't going to us. But
yeah.
to be back on track with everything, since I went off topic as fuck, I feel
Mhm,
like the Bucks should just go with if they don't keep Trask, it could be a Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield, which I'm fine with. I mean, Garoppolo has his moments, but
Well,
it's not really bad.
certainly, I mean, Garoppolo's a good game manager. The guy's, despite say what you want about him, but he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to 3 NFC championship games. He's does okay. It's not the sexy pick that, a lot of Bucks fans would want, but for a team that we have right now with restrictions on the salary cap, I'd be okay with it for a year. See what you can do with it. Win a division. Now, I'm not going to be naive to think we can win a Super Bowl with Garoppolo because I don't, but at least it's something for this team. But it's an interesting question, though. Now, do you really want to go just win a division title, or do you realistically want to rebuild? Start it early enough to where,
It's
that way you can get back on top sooner rather than later.
it's one of those 50-50 questions. It's like,
Yeah.
it's more like, do we want to rebuild or do they want to rebuild? I mean, you can either say the fact that like who's really going to stay with the team when shit hits the fan, honestly. Like we all know like Mike Evans was willing to do that, but it all depends on everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would you be okay with the rebuild if that realistically happens? I mean, would you start it sooner or kick the can down the road and do it later?
It's one of those things where I just rather just rip the Band-Aid off. I mean, it's gonna happen sooner or later. It's one of those things where you just gotta
do
what you gotta do at that point.
I feel like realistic, I'd be okay with either or. Look, I mean, in our division this year, it's not going to be very good. But like you said, but we also winning the division with an 8-9 record, we still got the 18th pick. So not only did we have a bad record, but you would think normally that gets you a top 10 or 12 pick, but we're at number 18. So, it's kind of a, like you said, a 50-50 type deal. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Do you?
Because it's like, who really wants to? Who's really? If it's one of those things where you just gotta grab everybody and be like, are we all in, or are we just gonna toss the can down the road? If people don't want to fight through it, then you just gotta be like, fuck it. I mean, at this point, I'm with no matter what they do, because I have really no choice but to go with what they have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because unlike some fans that just said, fuck it, I'm out. I feel like it's one of those things where we just go with what we have. But just try to avoid a rebuild. But
or you could be like Seattle, but you'd have to make a big trade. Seattle
wasn't really a rebuild, though. I mean, they almost did.
Well, yeah, kind of did when they traded Russell Wilson, but the thing was they actually hit on the draft picks right away and surprised everybody this year. So, they could still. What the hell are you eating? Is that one of those Smucker's sandwiches? Look at this.
Sorry, I'm hungry. It's so good.
Look at that teenager like eating eating this. This
is what costs him to get this. Do you see this thing?
No,
I have to take sacrifices out here for this.
That's a nice PS5, buddy.
It came with this.
Uh-oh, he's breaking it out. Look at that. God of War. Look at you, man. Nothing says PS5 God of War and
like the graphics.
Like being on Have At It and having a Crustable sandwich while doing it.
Bro, these graphics are top tier. Hands down, it's way much better. Like every game I've played so far on this, way better. And I guess it's coming out soon, 2K23.
Ooh, there you go, WWE. Nice. Well, ladies, Alec is very busy. He has a very busy life, eating Crustables and playing on his PS5. So I don't know if he's going to have time for you. If you're watching, ladies, he might not have the time for you at the moment right now. But well, anyway, speaking of teams, our teams. How about this guy? How about this guy right here? We heard it today.
Oh my god!
He wants out of Brooklyn. He wants a trade. I think
mean,
this is more of a trying to get a long-term deal with the Nets. And
but are you surprised though?
no,
Is
no, I'm
See, I
not.
was fine with it. I was like, you know what, he wants to be traded, and then our team got involved. I was like,
Well, of course it's going to be involved. I mean,
and it's even worse because like the Lakers' odds to win a championship, it was at like 22,000, and it went straight up to like 2,000. I'm like, fuck. But it's like, for what I've seen so far, I'm not sure if you've seen any trade proposals. The one I saw was Westbrook. The top, I think our 2029 is our last top five projected, or top five protected, and another first round pick somewhere else.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen different,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, uh, part of me thought about it, and I was like, you know what I think he's trying to do? He's like, hey, LeBron's trying to go for that record. Imagine if I was the one to pass the ball for him to hit the record breaking shot.
Yeah, it's possible. I think he wants a long-term deal, but he's not going to get one. Um, and yeah, I think he wants to play with LeBron. I also think he wants to do that.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
biased on it. Like I'm fine with it because like he's done good since Katie's injury. Mine's like
yeah,
it's not wins all the time for them, but because
right.
actually no, I saw it was never mind. I scratched that. It was Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris for Westbrook and the two first round picks. That's what they were offering.
You know why I don't see this trade happening? It's more KD, and I don't think he wants to play with Russell Westbrook again. I
Yeah,
think that's one of the reasons why KD left OKC to go to Golden State. He was tired of, Westbrook. And I don't you're gonna have the Nets are gonna have to run through Kevin Durant before they make a trade like that. You know what I mean? They
take Anthony Davis.
by
Take
him.
him by all means. Take
They're
him.
not gonna trade Anthony Davis. LeBron's not gonna allow that. He just won't. They're glued together.
But
They're
did you
with
see the
clubs.
tweet though?
Yeah.
Did you
They're
see the
with
tweet though
clubs.
for Kyrie Irving? Like he tweeted about it, and then LeBron James replied back with the purple heart and the crown
Yeah.
emoji, and then Kyle Kuzma replied back to it.
Right.
It said it was what's that word called? Where you're
Mhm.
like trying to like, oh dang it, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's like where you're trying to like instigate between like, oh, someone in chat has to know the word is. Let me see.
Yeah. Guys,
If I can
whoever's
find,
watching, give Alec the word there. He's trying to
let's give me a brain fart right now. Tampering.
tampering.
Yeah,
There
'cause
you go.
he put the crown. He put tamper,
Tamper. Yeah. Or temper temper
and then
tantrum.
like hell, like it's like a lot of fans says, he's like, "You mad? You're not coming back," which
Yeah, I don't
I
see this
miss.
trade happening. Not with the Lakers, I don't. I just don't see it.
I see it more
Mm.
for the Mavs, for the Suns. That's who I
Yeah, but
really see going for
they
him.
already got Chris Paul with the Suns. Devin Booker. It's not realistic.
Devin Booker's injury is pushing him way past the season. Like it's like they don't want to announce it because it's mid-season.
Yeah.
He's most likely done for the season, and it's one of those things where you got to win now.
Think he's
And
shot.
Aiton's one of the things is
So,
Aiton's on their trade block too. They're trying to get him off because him and the chemistry of the team, like,
mhm.
because you even saw it last year during the last offseason when they had the trade with, I think it was Denver.
Yeah.
I think it was Denver or Utah, and they quickly gave him his money, but his production wasn't matching the incentives in his contract for his stats and everything. And he's not abiding by it. So it's one of those things where I see him putting in I definitely see him in a trade package.
So you
And
think, yeah,
also,
okay. Go ahead.
Westbrook's also in a trade package right now with Charlotte because Charlotte's now dumping off veterans.
Well, like, what do you think? Like a Gordon Hayward or something like that? No.
Terry Rozier, I think, and PJ Washington.
Well, I mean
And
they're
then
okay.
also it's another name, Miles Bridges, because when Charlotte played the Lakers after
Mhm.
the game, LeBron
Yeah.
went to Miles Bridges. He's like, if you ever want to come and play for us one day, the offer's always there. And they're not giving Miles Bridges a max contract. He's the one playing under a max contract. He just wants to be able to, but all like the legal stuff that he's still dealing with.
Mhm.
I could see him going to us for some like. I mean, you've noticed before, like the expectation of what we're gonna get and the reality. Everything's
Yeah.
gonna get Kyrie. Watch us get Miles Bridges. I mean,
Right.
I've chalked the whole season up playoffs wise because it's the whole team is just a big ass clusterfuck right now. Like if the LeBron trend is so bad, like when he left Cleveland, he left that team trashed. Went to Miami, left Miami, whole shit's fucked. Went to Cleveland, left Cleveland. That whole team was just a dumpster fire until they started getting back up there. Now who's left? Us. Draft picks for the next like 6 years. Poof.
See, that's why I was always kind of in the trade LeBron and AD mode. Because eventually,
I was for it. Like I don't
yeah,
like
yeah, because realistically, I
we've been
mean,
losing draft picks left and right. It's like
yeah, we have to get those back to have some kind of future. I mean, they're not going to win a title. Come on, we got to be realistic here. The Lakers will not win a title this year,
I'm not
even if they
I'm
get
not
Kyrie.
holding hope on that.
Even if they get Kyrie, they're not going to win because again,
Mm-mm.
they don't have enough shooting. You know, yeah, Golden State's struggling right now, but they're going to turn it on in the playoffs. You know, Denver's pretty good.
The
So you
thing
got to get
is,
past those teams.
we went downhill the moment we traded Brandon Ingram. I'll say it. Yeah, Anthony Davis we want a ring, but I'm pretty sure Brandon Ingram would have the same impact. Let's be honest here. Like Brandon and losing Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, even Talon Horton Tucker, he has his moments. He's a good sub bench player, come off the bench player.
Yeah.
It's like once we lost Brandon Ingram, I have to look at that fucking jersey every day too. Look at my Brandon Ingram jersey that's sitting in there like fuck, I can't even wear this shit anymore. This is sitting there. It's like once we lost him, all my hope for the next like 10 years went down the fucking drain. But it's not even a LeBron thing. It's more like it's a Genie Bus thing. Like she wants full control. Her and Rob Plinka. Plinka needs to fucking go. Like they're only keeping him there because the whole Kobe Bryant passed away. It's what he would have wanted. No,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you've overstayed your welcome. Please, fucking leave.
Well, don't forget the Rambuses are in the front office too, controlling, have an influence on things. So, yeah,
Even
I
with
mean,
the Magic Johnson, at least he has like we have. Uh, I feel like they should just dump off. Like if anybody should dump off veterans, send LeBron and AD somewhere else. Like we have Sky Pippen Jr. is not a bad player. He's showed some promise in the summer league. Max Christie shows some promise. Surprisingly, even Rui Hachimura shows some promise, even though I think it's like a fourth year player right now.
well, Hachimura is not a bad move.
He's a good off the bench player. That's why he's not
Yeah,
bad since
I
he's been
mean,
playing with us.
he can shoot the ball a little bit, but again, they need more shooters. Not one guy is not going to turn this around. They need
I'm just saying,
multiple
like I
shooters
rather
needed.
us building the draft. Honestly, like
Yeah,
trade as
but I'm
much.
just talking about this year in particular. Trying
Ugh.
to get LeBron that opportunity to win another
I mean,
championship. And
Terry Rozier could be a good one. He's been doing good for the Hornets. I've been noticing mostly because I've been betting on him and I've been making money off of it. But he's been averaging like 25 points a game. Like he's
yeah,
been I think like 60% from the three line. It's not
mhm,
bad. It's
yeah.
just like and Miles Bridges, he's not going to cost that much at all in a trade deal. So I feel like it's Miles Bridges that comes there. Maybe Gordon Hayward, probably, but I don't know. The more I hear about then when the Lakers, I'm like, bro, it's not gonna happen. We've been through this before. Like, every time like they said we're gonna get, I think it was Chris Paul, David Stern said that wouldn't be fair for the league, vetoed it.
Yeah, he
They
nixed
said
that
we're
one.
gonna get DeMar DeRozan, got Westbrook. So we're gonna get Zach LaVine. Nothing happened. It's like,
Zach LaVine's name's been thrown out there as far as the Tuesday deadline, trading deadline.
I mean, he is, but I don't think it's. We don't have much to offer. Only thing that we have to offer is Westbrook and those 2 first-round picks. Because Westbrook's on, I think he had like 1 year deal left, 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah, and then it was at 40 million, but with halfway through the season now, it's going to be about 20 million. So it's doable. I mean, maybe some teams pick up the tab for 30 more games for Russ, but again, as far as Kyrie going to the Lakers, I just don't see it because it's in the Nets' hands. They're the ones that will trade Kyrie. They're the ones that's going to make the deal, not the Lakers.
I mean, there is another player, but I don't see him ever getting traded. Like yes, Portland Trailblazers, they're but Damian Lillard is basically why I enjoy the NBA. He's like the only hope I have left of why I enjoy the NBA, because he stays with the same team, helps bring in players. But like with the league today, I'll be honest with you, it's not as fun as it used to be. All this load management, off days.
Yeah.
Like even Kobe Bryant would say he was like, I'll play no matter what, because what if a fan wanted to see me that night, he would pay all that money to go all the way over there just to see him not play. It's just like the NBA is not as fun as it used to be. It really isn't.
It's a different generation, man. It's a social media generation. And also politics are involved. NBA's doing, so there's just a lot of different things that have not, like me and you were not as really invested as much in the NBA as we used to be. And that's not just because our Lakers aren't good. It's just as a whole, the NBA just not as fun as it used to be. The NFL's
really
great. Major League Baseball is getting better. Cannot wait.
Giant D's not here. I'm going to say that. One more month.
Well, he will not be on this show when we're talking about baseball, I'm sure. Yeah, there it is. Arenado.
It's my goat.
Look at that. When are you going to get that Luis Contreras jersey?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, you're not? No.
I mean, I appreciate I like that he's on there, but I need a Goldschmidt jersey, if anything. I need a Pauly G jersey.
Yeah, that's a nice one, too. So,
well,
we will discuss. Oh, go ahead. Real quick.
I'm not sure if you saw the message, but yeah, the Dodgers, they went back to being favorites again. I don't know what the hell happened when that plus 200 went back down to minus. I was like, the fuck happened the last 4 hours?
It'll change off and on before we get to spring training, so I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, so we'll talk about baseball when the time comes. That'll be very shortly. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close this show out, but I want to thank you tonight, Alec, for hopping on for a few minutes. Why don't you go ahead and promote yourself, man?
Well, you can find me on Thursdays, possibly every. My schedule's kind of weird, so I'll be there next Thursday. Here on this platform every 2 weeks, or actually, it's like, I don't know. The schedule's weird to have me even say it, but either here or NFL Edition, or in the comment section on North Sports Dynasty. Shout out Andrew Faubert and Alex and Sid and Chris and Kyle. Usually in the comment section in there. And that's about it. And on Sean Spencer's show too. Usually in the comments there.
Good stuff, man. And by the way, speaking of Kyle, we're going to do our Elimination Chamber pregame show on the 18th. So hopefully you'll get to be on there. We'll have Kyle on as well. Hopefully he can jump in. So we had a good time talking. What's that?
It's already. It's February. I thought it was like February 25th.
I think it's the 18th. Let me check the schedule real quick. I thought it
Let's see.
was.
Let me see.
Yeah, February 18th.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, just a few weeks. So that will be.
Oh, don't
On-
spoil the show for me today. I didn't get to watch it. I know Jay
Oh,
wasn't there. Like I said, he wasn't going to be there,
yep.
and Roman Reigns was pissed about it. But
Yeah,
see,
so that'll be February 18th. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow. So hopefully we can get you and Kyle on for a pregame show, talk about the Elimination Chamber. Should be some good stuff. So anyway, with that being said, guys, you can catch me here on Friday nights. Have at it here. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, not just football, but we'll talk other things, basketball like we did tonight. And we'll talk baseball as well, other entertaining stuff. So I will also be on the NFL edition every Thursday nights. I go on an hour after anyone else goes on, obviously, because I got obligations. But I also have the 2-3 Ben Zone. I usually do it on Monday night with the college basketball talk and everything, some NBA talk as well. So check us out, man, here on the Ben Zone Group platform. So with that being said, we're going to get going. Have a good night and a good weekend. Alec, you do the same. And we will see you guys next time.